Hey, what is going on, guys? It's DK. Back at you with another video here at running the 2-game NBA main slate on Tuesday. Before I get into the video, if you guys are new to the channel, my name's DK. I make daily videos breaking down NBA, NFL, PGA, and esports, daily fantasy sports slates. Before I get into the analysis real quick, I want to say thank you guys again for all support. Seriously, in the YouTube comment section, on Twitter, and the live streams, I really do appreciate each and every one of you. Currently right now, 4.72 thousand subscribers. The easiest way to support me right now, since all the content is free, is just leave a like button on the video, subscribe if you haven't already, and hit the notification bell so you know when I upload videos, you know when I go live. Also, if you cannot watch the videos, I do upload on Apple Podcasts. The link is in the description below, just the DK DFS show. With that out of the way, let's jump in the video. So before we get into players and the prices for this 2-game slate, I guess we can look back at Monday's slate. Man, what a disaster. Everything that could have went wrong for me. The two Toronto chalk guards that were 70% owned in the $66 tournament just obviously busted with the game blowing out and Toronto not coming to show up. I checked the score like almost at the end of the quarter and they had 5 points. I was like, yep, my night's over already. Yeah, did not predict a blowout there. Obviously killed. Tatum, even in the blowout, still didn't necessarily kill me. Robert Williams played 9 minutes. I took the risk. I was like, his range of outcomes is somewhere between 10 and 20. He played 9 minutes. So obviously not great there. The other value plays I mentioned are all looking, to start, are looking really good in Pat Bev, JaMychal Green, and Gary Harris. So yeah, it's just one of those. And then Zubac played or got 2 quick fouls right away. So it's like automatic, just like absolutely terrible night. A night to forget 100%. So enough of that. Let's talk about this 2-game slate. And this looks like a really good slate to me. The slate with Toronto, Boston, and then Denver and the Clippers is always like, I always play lighter on that one. Even on 2-game slates in general, you guys should play very light. They're super high variance. You do not play a lot of money on these slates. But that one especially, because Toronto and Boston is super low scoring, and the other game always has a blowout risk, and the rotations in that Denver Clippers game are so like all over the place. So I never really feel confident with that 2-game slate, so I always take it light. But this one I feel a lot better about right now. Obviously, there's some news up in the air, right, with the availability of Giannis Antetokounmpo. Changes absolutely everything. If Giannis is not available, I am stacking Milwaukee. I'm probably getting Milton, Bledsoe, and at least one more player, whether it be DiVincenzo, Brook Lopez, possibly George Hill. Like I'm going to load up in Milwaukee. If Giannis is in, then he obviously makes himself an interesting contrarian play because no one will play him. We saw him at 12% owned that last slate. Obviously, he aggravated the injury, but like if Giannis plays, he'll probably be below 10% ownership. But all right, let's start with center today. Anthony Davis at 10-6. Actually left the game for a little bit, went to the locker room, got me nervous last slate, but came back. Finished the game with 55 fantasy points. I like both the Lakers stars once again in LeBron and AD. There's just, it's a mismatch whenever they're out on the court, especially with Anthony Davis, with Houston having no one taller than like 6'8", 6'9". It's just, even though Houston's been good defensively, it's just a mismatch whenever AD has the ball. So I like him once again as a spend up. I played him last few slates, considering playing him once again here. The Miami guys were not really getting at huge discounts anymore. Bam Adebayo played 44. Sure, the game went to overtime, so 39 minutes. That's good to see, though, that he played 39 minutes. Like, if we're going to get close to 40 minutes from Bam, that's really good. But the minutes aren't necessarily secure. I played him that one slate where he only played 33 minutes. That's a big hit, right? Almost 7 minutes. So the price is coming up on Bam. I think he's going to go lower owned on the slate for the reason of, we're no longer getting him at an amazing discount, right? 8-7 seems about right, but if he does get extended and we do get those like close to 40 minutes, I think he can definitely get you there at his price. Brolos at 6K, he's a scoring-dependent center, and you saw it if you played him. He was the chalk, and he had like 8 fantasy points through 3 quarters. Luckily, he picked it up in the 4th and then got a little bit there in the overtime. But that's the risk. The floor is pretty low with Brook Lopez, and we're no longer getting a discount. So If Giannis is out, my priorities are for sure Bledsoe, Middleton. Like those are the two guys I wanted for sure. You can definitely look to Brook Lopez, but there's still no guarantee. Like I would jam in Bledsoe and Middleton first before I plug Brook Lopez in there. So he's definitely playable. If Giannis plays, I think he's okay, but I probably wouldn't do it. If Giannis misses, then he becomes a lot more viable. PJ Tucker's a 4.9. I won't lie, like I was not super high on him, and he had a really good game. 18 points, 11 rebounds, 2 assists, a block, and a steal. That is 100% PJ Tucker's ceiling. But he's been playing well in this series. My issue is the ownership is going to jump on him. And he shot the ball really well, 7 of 10. I don't think we get that again from PJ Tucker. I mean, you guys know the floor on Tucker is pretty low. And 5K, like, again, I'm okay with it, but I'm just worried that his ownership is going to be a little bit higher than it should be. Jeff Green's at 4K. Just not enough minutes. I mean, he's in 20 minutes, he can get you there, but I think there's better value right now. We do have JaVale McGee questionable. This is actually somewhat big news. Keep an eye on this. If he misses, it's going to be interesting to see who the Lakers start. I think they maybe start Kuzma or possibly a guy like Markieff Morris who played well. Or they could just start Rondo, like go smaller. So interested to see. I don't think I have interest in McGee. I guess 3-2 if he plays. You'll get 13 minutes out of him. But yeah, definitely keep an eye on whether or not he plays. Dwight Howard, I think, didn't even play. What was that last game? Yeah, he didn't play last game. So don't play Dwight Howard unless he starts for JaVale McGee. I guess they could do that, but either way, the minutes just like the Lakers seem to want to match the small ball and run more 80 at the 5. So not really interested too much there in the Lakers centers. Markieff Morris, tricky one. He came off the bench and made 4 threes in a matter of 2 minutes. We're not going to get that again. He shot the ball 6 of 8. Again, we're not going to get that again. He did play 23 minutes. I think that's more of a ceiling. So he's playable, but another one that I'm a little bit worried his ownership might be high. Now, if he does start, I don't know who the Lakers are going to start. I think there's a chance they can start Kuzma. If McGee's out, Kuzma, Markieff Morris, maybe Rondo. So if he starts, I think he'd become a little bit more playable. Kelly O's the 3-3. He's been dealing with a knee injury. Only played 10 minutes last game. He's a good fancy point per minute guy. But what you really need is you need Bam foul trouble. If you get that and Kelly O plays, he can definitely crush for his salary. So he's at least in play, but definitely risky. You kind of need something to happen to Bam there. And that's it for center. So let's move on to power forward. Again, Giannis, this is the slate changing news. He was really good when he played. If you played him, obviously you took a risk, but you got him lucky. So he was on pace to absolutely crush. In 11 minutes, he had almost 30 fancy points. So, again, if Giannis plays, this might be a situation where I might take the risk. I know Miami's been really good against him defensively, and the ankle injury obviously scares me, but you're going to get Giannis at, I think, below 10% ownership. So, I like him for the reason if he plays he's going to be super, super low owned. Mentioned liking AD. Yeah, Rocco at 6'5". The minutes will be there. He's an okay option in the mid-range. There's probably better point per dollar plays, but he's not out of play. I'm just probably not going to get to him. Crowder's at 5'8", played 31 minutes. The minutes went down a bit on him. They went way up on Duncan Robinson. I don't know if we see that again. 5'8", though, we're not getting a huge discount. Yeah, he's playable in the mid-range, but I'm not super excited about it now. Now, Kuzma intrigues me at 4'8". It was kind of a gut feeling that last game with me getting on Kuzma, and he played really well. Only played 21 minutes, though. I was expecting closer to the 30 mark. In 21 minutes, he had 25 fantasy points. Imagine if he played closer to 30, right? He would have crushed his salary. Now, again, if McGee's out, you saw Kuzma check in for him early in the second half, so maybe they start Kuzma. I think there's an outside chance they could start either Markieff Morris or Rondo if McGee's out. So, got to keep an eye on that because that does change some things. A few more minutes for Kuzma at 4'8" would look good against a small ball team. So, I have interest in Kuzma. Obviously, we get a bigger boost if a guy like JaVale McGee's out and Kuzma starts. House had a good shooting day at 4'1". Yeah, he's playable off the bench. I put him in the same territories as guys like Danny Green and KCP. They have to hit their threes. So, yeah, I'm okay with Daniel House. The floor is low, though. Marvin Williams at 3-6 with Giannis out. Still, the minutes actually went down, which surprised me. Only played 17 minutes, so that's not great to see. I think he would be playable, but I would rather take a shot on a guy like DiVincenzo at a similar price, who they felt more comfortable playing down the stretch. So, yeah, Marvin Williams. Even if Giannis is out, I think I would give the edge to DiVincenzo as the value play. And that's really it. So let's talk about small forward. LeBron's at 11-2. He had a big game, went for 65 fantasy points again. I like both the Lakers stars once again. Probably slightly prefer AD for the discount, but both look good, and both are probably the safest spend-ups, in my opinion, compared to a guy like Harden in a tougher spot on the opposite side, and obviously Giannis, who's been dealing with injuries, a lot riskier. So, yeah, I think both Lakers the spend-ups are probably the safest options. Middleton's at 8-6, so if Giannis plays, I have a little bit of interest in him. And the reason being is you could see what happened last game with Giannis aggravating the injury, and then it's just the Middleton show. He took over. I still think he's playable if Giannis plays, and he plays the whole game. I don't think he'll kill you, but you're not really getting him a discount. Obviously, if Giannis misses, I'm plugging in Middleton, I'm plugging in Bledsoe, and then probably one more value play. Would consider a guy like DiVincenzo, George Hill, Brook Lopez, guys like that. So, he would be one of the top plays, obviously, if Giannis is out. If Giannis is in, I think he's playable. And obviously, you could, bank on the fact of, Giannis maybe aggravating the injury, and then it would be, the Middleton-Bledsoe show. Yeah, Jimmy's at 8-5. Both these Miami guys are going to be low-owned. And the issue is, the price points aren't amazing on them, and Miami's just a balanced team. They are. Dragic, Butler, Bam, Tyler Hero off the bench, Jay Crowder, Duncan Robinson can score the ball. Obviously, he played big minutes, so that's a concern. He's going to be super low on. Both Miami guys are going to be super low on with Jimmy and Bam. I think I slightly prefer Bam to Jimmy because Jimmy at times can kind of just take a backseat offensively. I think both are playable, but I don't know if I'm going to prioritize either of the Miami stars on this one. Talk about Rocco. Eric Gordon's been shooting the ball well. Shot 8 of 16, went for 32 fantasy points. He's surprisingly been consistent. But I always say it, the floor is still low. We have not seen a bad shooting day from Eric Gordon yet, but it's there. The floor is 15 fantasy points from him. The upside is probably 35-ish or so. So yeah, he's playable, but he is risky for the fact of he has to score the ball to get you fantasy points. Talk about Kuzma. Duncan Robinson, what are his minutes going to be? He played 39 minutes that last game. Obviously, if he plays close to 40 minutes, I love him. But are we going to get that again? I would say probably not. But how many minutes are we going to get? They've been slowly going up on him. I think my best guess is about 30 to 32. And if that's the case, if we get over 30 minutes from Duncan Robinson at 4-7, he looks like a good option. But just be warned, he is scoring dependent, and they have other guys. If he's struggling shooting the ball, they'll probably go to a guy like Jay Crowder, or they have Iguodala, they have Hero that can eat some minutes. So that is concerning. I think his ownership will be way up after the last game. I don't know how many minutes he's going to play. I don't. So this is a tricky one. I like the upside. I think the ownership will be up on a guy like Duncan. Yeah, Danny Green, KCP, I'm probably not going to get to. I just prefer Rondo as a value play. Obviously, Rondo went absolutely crazy. We're probably not going to get that again. My worry was with Rondo, they said they played him too much when he played 25 minutes in Game 1, and they wanted to play Caruso more, but Caruso was in foul trouble. And they came out and played Rondo, 30-plus minutes? I'll get to him in a bit. But that was the reason. I was 50-50 on Caruso versus Rondo. Obviously, I guessed wrong with Caruso because Rondo went absolutely crazy. But my worry was I thought the minutes were going to go down, going off the coach speak, and they didn't. So, guys like Green, KCP, they're playable. They have to hit their threes. I would rather just play Rondo. Rondo's going to be way, way more popular, too. But I would just rather... He has a higher floor. Just because he's a guy that gets more assists and, can do it all. Whereas Green, KCP are dependent on shooting. Like Daniel House, right? Put those guys in the same group of... They're playable for value, for sure. But they have to hit their shots. Iguodala's at 3-4. He played 22 minutes. He's playable, but I don't think I would do it. I just don't feel good about Iguodala right now, even at 3-4. The minutes were good to see, but probably not going to do it. Pat C played a few minutes, but not enough for me to consider him at 3-2. I'd rather play DiVincenzo. I think Korver got a few minutes too, but not enough for me to consider him. And that's it. So let's move on to shooting guard. Harden's at 11K. He's just a contrarian option, honestly, for me. I don't know if the upside's massive on him. I prioritize one of the Lakers stars. So Harden's just a contrarian option for me. I'm probably not going to get to him. Mentioned Jimmy Butler. Mentioned Eric Gordon. Hero's a guy I've played like the last 3 slates. He's been pretty consistent. Kind of got bailed out there in overtime, hitting a couple threes. It wasn't great to start, but I think once again he's playable in the mid-range. I think we get somewhere around 28 to 30-ish minutes. 5.3K is a very fair price, so I have absolutely no issue there with a guy like Tyler Hero. Talk about Duncan too. Caruso's at 3.8. Did play 26 minutes. Wasn't great. My issue was they got the ball in the hands of Rondo. Like, he was more of the point guard, whereas Caruso was the off guard when they were both out there together, which worries me. Like, I would want Caruso to run the point. Like, that's why I would pick him for his assist upside. And if Rondo is going to be the guy handling the ball most of the time when both of them are out there, then I'm just going to go Rondo. And I think obviously the public will too. Rondo's going to be the super chalk. Let's see. Yeah, DiVincenzo's a value guy I like if Giannis is out. He played 27 minutes, had 22 fancy points. He's a good scorer. If Giannis plays, it makes him a lot riskier. Like, I think 10 to 20 minutes he would get. But if Giannis is out, I think 20 plus from DiVincenzo is definitely, probably what we would see at 20 to 25. So, yeah, he would probably be of the really cheap Milwaukee value. I would prefer him to a guy like Marvin Williams. Yeah, Wes Matthews, I'm just not going to play at 3-4. Just no reason to take a shot there. None. I don't even know if he played the last game. He played 8 minutes. Not enough for me to consider him. Rivers got a few minutes, but again, not enough for me to consider him either. And that's it. So let's finish up with point guard. Mentioned LeBron, mentioned Harden. Westbrook was super chalk the last game and was terrible. Absolutely terrible. Turned the ball over 7 times, shot the ball 4 of 15. He's still, for playing that bad, still put up 35 fancy points. I still have interest in him in the mid-tier for the reason of the minutes will be there, the production will be there, and he obviously has to be better. I don't think we're going to get that bad of a game again from Russell Westbrook. So at 8.4K, he's someone I'm considering once again here, as a discount off some of those guys at the top. Dragic, I've literally played him. I know I've mentioned this, but I played him I think like the last 4 or 5 slates. He's been super consistent. Like, the consistency is just there with Goran Dragic. So if you're going for more of the consistent play, it probably is Dragic, whereas, Westbrook's been a little bit more up and down. But I think the ceiling's obviously higher in a guy like Russell Westbrook, obviously, because he can go for 50 plus. Whereas Dragic, he can, but he's probably just more, again, the safer option if you're looking for those guards in the mid-tier. So I have absolutely no issue with Dragic. We're going to get 35 minutes, super productive guy, does it all. I like him again here. Bledsoe's at 6'2". So if Giannis is out, I'm playing both Bledsoe and Middleton. Told you guys that. That's been the equation for the last 2 years. Giannis is out, you play both those guys, and you just move on. I'm not even going to consider fading them. Just play them both and move on. If Giannis plays, we'll get 30-ish minutes from Bledsoe. Wouldn't be like an amazing play. So that's kind of how I feel. Him and Middleton probably 2 of the top plays if Giannis is out. If Giannis plays, I think they're both okay options. George Hill's at 4-4. He played 37, probably was at 32 in regulation. He's a perfectly fine value play. I don't think he's going to kill you. I think even if Giannis plays, we get 25 to 30 minutes from George Hill. So yeah, I think he's a perfectly fine value option here. Probably feel more comfortable targeting him than those than Danny Green, KCP, and Danwell House, because George Hill's a guy that doesn't have to score to get you there, right? Where those guys are strictly relying on their shooting. Rondo, he's probably your top value. I'll play him. I'll eat the chalk on him. My worry with him was last game was, again, they played him 25 minutes, and they said they played him too much. They're like, we want to play Caruso more, but he got in foul trouble. And then they came out and played him 30 minutes. So, yeah, Rondo's absolutely way too cheap if we're going to get 30 minutes from him below 4K. He's the top value play of the day. He's going to be the ultimate chalk. I wouldn't expect 5 steals again, but that's what Rondo does, right? He's a do-it-all guy. 10 points, 9 assists, 3 rebounds, 5 steals. Yeah, he's your top value play. And that's really it. So, again, guys, Milwaukee, let's go over them really quick. If Giannis plays, there's no real standout play for me. I told you guys, I might take a shot on Giannis himself for the reason of I know he's going to be super, super low owned. So yeah, if Giannis plays, like, Middleton's fine. Bledsoe might be slightly overpriced. Brook Lopez, fine. George Hill's okay. Marvin Williams, DiVincenzo will play like 15-ish minutes. But if Giannis is out, you just load up in the Bucks. You play Middleton, you play Bledsoe, and probably at least one more of these guys for Milwaukee. So that's my strategy for this 2-game slate. I think that's going to wrap it up for the video today, guys. So if you have been enjoying the content so far, I'd really appreciate it if you leave a like button on the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hit that notification bell so you know when I upload videos, you know when I go live. I will be live streaming 30 minutes before lock on my YouTube channel, so be sure to check out the live stream, guys. I will go over everything, obviously, waiting on that Giannis news. So thanks again, guys. Hope you guys have a good night. Hopefully it goes better than it did tonight. And I will see you guys all tomorrow on the live stream.